Two older men rolling around. Two older men rolling around. One's younger than me, the other's older than me. Jiu-jitsu, exciting, cheering crowds. One guy almost had his knee wrenched. His knee wrenched. The other guy wrestles with his eyes closed. His eyes closed. Marijuana or just really relaxed. Marijuana or just really relaxed. No one can tell. No one knows. But Eddie Bravo was the winner of that match, even though everything's a draw in Metamoris, and they have to change the rules because I'm not sitting through another 50-50 where everybody's trying to basically ankle lock each other. That was a really good song.
That was good, man.
Listen, Eddie Bravo.
You enjoyed Metamoris.
I loved it.
This is your second or third time going?
Second time. I love the Eddie Bravo Hiler. Hiler's a warrior. Hiler, by the way, at 49 years old, sticking it out. Eddie Bravo, in many ways, I'm so jealous when I see somebody who's that good at what they do. Like, and I love doing stand-up and all, but I'm so jealous when I see somebody that he's such a master, it seems, at jiu-jitsu. I mean, Eddie Bravo is as good as it gets.
Oh, yeah.
At locking down on that one leg, it was a very exciting match. It was a very, but it
was by far the best match of the night.
Yeah, they need to change the rules of Metamoris, and here's what I propose. Because nobody wants to watch two guys in a gi unless they're real aficionados, but guys like me who don't know as much, who come to be entertained. You can't have guys fight to a draw for 20 minutes with gi, because what happens is they're so good, they neutralize each other, and then it becomes a 50-50 situation where they're both trying to ankle lock each other, etc. What you need, in my opinion, if somebody mounts, if somebody passes somebody's guard, if somebody even takes you down, it's got to count for something. If somebody takes your back, if somebody's been in control of you the whole match, that has got to count for something. And we want to see points rack up, because it creates drama and it matters after 20 minutes. There were a lot of matches, a couple of matches there where the other guy had a lot of control over who was basically won that match. And because nobody submitted anybody,
you went home unsatisfied.
A little bit. I think that it would do that sport, and it's a great sport, and they did a great job of setting it all up. That it would do that sport a favor if they had. Look, wrestling has points, boxing has points. Give me one sport that
Jiu-jitsu has points.
I know,
just not Metamoris.
That's my point.
It's professional
That's
jiu-jitsu.
my point. So let the point system work.
Their reasoning by going away from the points is the point system. If you want boring, watch IBJJ competition jiu-jitsu, where guys, they're just looking for advantage and no one's going for a submission. They're going to get one advantage point and just maintain that the entire match.
Call a stall. Stalling is what you call stalling in wrestling.
Listen, what they need to do is I'm down for the 20-minute submission match only.
Make it
That's
15.
fine.
Make it 15 minutes.
All right, so make it 15 minutes. And at the end of 15 minutes, if it's a draw, no one's been submitted, then you do a 5-minute overtime where points count.
Sudden death or something?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, whoever gets the first point wins.
Great.
Because the problem that the public has with it, especially unless you're a straight jiu-jitsu nerd and you're obsessed with it, like me, I enjoyed every Metamoris match.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because you're looking at it from very different angles.
I love it.
Sure.
Love it. Never miss one. I'll say compete in it. I absolutely love jiu-jitsu. I'd rather watch Metamoris than a regular IBJJ.
Sure. But that's you. But I'm talking about for guys like me.
Exactly. For guys like you, my dad, like when my dad and uncle came to the last Metamoris when I went against Cyborg.
Yeah, it's like watching chess.
Man, my dad and my uncle were like, "Are you kidding me?" Like they're like, boring. "This is super boring."
And I sat next to some big time jiu-jitsu guys, and even they were like, "This is boring."
Really?
Yeah. So
it's tough, man. And then also you got it's the matchups too. Styles make fights. Even in jiu-jitsu, styles make fights. For instance, Cyborg and I. Man, one guy wants to sit to his butt and do his half guard stuff. One guy needs a guy to take risk on the feet. So you're going to get a weird matchup, man. Yeah. But I thought the finale with Eddie Bravo, man, you basically have old school Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and Hiler, and then you have Eddie Bravo, who has been rolling forever. He's a third-degree black belt.
And innovative and,
10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. And his whole thing's kind of, he really kind of goes his own routes. He names his own moves, and he has all this weird stuff. I can't remember the last time I saw an electric chair when he almost ripped Hiler's groin apart.
Crazy.
That anyone else, I think they'd be in trouble. There's not too many guys in the world who could.
I couldn't believe that, because I was looking at Hiler's knee, and I was looking, you're 49. That doesn't look good to me. And I think Eddie was actually in the middle of the match saying, if you want to quit, you can quit.
Yeah,
we can quit. He didn't want to hurt his knee.
That's not going to happen. He would have blown it. No, not on a stage like that.
God,
it was cool to see.
Amazing.
But like I said, obviously, I think if you had to declare a winner, I think the fans. Let's say Metamoris did a vote, let the fans vote who they think win. I bet you Eddie Bravo is going to be a 70-30 win.
But Eddie had control of that fight the whole way.
Oh, he had him in the most trouble. Yeah. He went for the most submissions. Yeah. At the end there, it was very suspect.
I think Hiler was left in a position of just defending.
Yeah.
And it is a beautiful sport. There's no question. I just think it would do that it would do Metamoris a real service if they change some of the rules. It's not that big a deal, not hard to do. And it would, I think it would triple the popularity. It might take a little while, but I think it would. And I think it deserves it. I think that's how you make jiu-jitsu even more popular.
I don't think it would take that long.
No.
They could do it in the next one.
Right.
When I did Metamoris...
I'm saying for it to catch on as a really exciting, popular sport because you could do highlights and all that. Right now, you have to have a very sophisticated, trained eye to see what's really going on.
True.
Most of us, it just looks like...
People want highlights.
Right.
Even in the UFC, even with guys swing for the fences, people want highlights. That's they don't want to sit there and watch a fight.
In fact, when it goes to the ground, they're working for position, they get booed.
Booing. Right. People are booing, yes. That's because they're uneducated. That's what happens.
Right. You don't want to cater just to the uneducated. We should get one of the boys on, one of our Hiler, Henner, or one of those. Or
really? Henner's on like every other episode.
No. But what's his brother's name who runs the whole thing?
Halleck.
Yeah, Halleck is much bigger than I thought. By the way,
big head, huh?
Yeah, he's got a head on him. He's got a Conan O'Brien head on him, and big hands.
He does.
He's the muscular killer. He's a killer version of Conan O'Brien.
He would come on for sure. Yeah, he's a stud.
We should talk. He's the one. Isn't he the one who started this thing? Yeah, we should talk to him about it.
Yeah,
change his mind.
He's the one.
We'll get it. Well, we will do that for you, ladies and gentlemen. We got some fights coming up.
No fights coming up. Really, the only thing that came out recently is DC Cormier versus
Daniel Cormier versus
Hendo. Your boy Hendo.
Yeah.
Who you taking in that?
I'll definitely be taking Daniel Cormier.
Why?
Because Daniel Cormier is younger. He is every bit the wrestler.
DC's not that young. Don't let it fool you.
32, 33?
35. Might be 36.
He's undefeated in the UFC, and he's a monster, and he's probably a better wrestler than Dan Henderson. I hate to say it. And also, I think it's his time, and I think Dan. I'd like to see Dan retire because he's done everything he set out to do. A great warrior. I just don't want him to get hurt. I don't want someone like that to really hurt himself. He's so indestructible. But everybody can get hurt, and I don't want to see something like that.
I think they're gonna basically what they're doing is so Gus Finn's next in line for John Jones. If John Jones gets past Glover Teixeira, right, which I think he probably will, so then Alexander Gus Finn's next in line. Well, they want DC John Jones. That's what they want. But I think DC's just not a big enough household name. So if he beats a guy like Dan Henderson, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he beats one of these, more famous guys, even though, Dan's 1-3 out of his last 4 fights.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, the public does not care about any of that. All they care about is the name. Oh, you like, let's say the UFC tossed me Frank Mir. The public's going to love it, man.
Yeah.
As a business-wise, I don't love it, right? He's lost, 4 or 5 in a row, so it doesn't make sense for me. But for everyone else, like, Frank Mir, they know
bring
Frank
attention
Mir.
to you, and you end up being the guys But it's true that names can stay pretty resilient,
All people care about. You want to fight.
Oh, by the way,
you want to fight the highest ranked, most famous guy possible. That's all you want to do.
Fabrizio Verdum was in somebody's corner at Metamoris.
Whose?
Can't remember the guy's name. Guy was really good. But
I would imagine everyone at Metamoris is
everybody there is pretty damn good. But Fabrizio is a big, handsome guy.
He's tall, right? He's tall. He's bigger than you think.
He's handsome, and he's not somebody you want to go to the ground with. But I hear from other people that Brendan Schaub's not somebody you want to go to the ground with either.
No,
I hear that.
Yeah, I don't know.
The question becomes:
depends who.
If you got to go to the ground with Fabrizio Verdum, are you nervous? Obviously.
I think everyone's nervous to go to the ground. I mean, listen, the guy's a monster.
But having said that, you've rolled with guys.
Having said that, yes, I wouldn't listen. If anyone's gonna go to the ground with him in the heavyweight division, Frank Mir, myself, I think there's a couple guys who aren't gonna freak out down there. If it goes down there, great.
Not gonna freak out.
There's a couple guys who are gonna go down there.
By freak out, you mean let me get up immediately?
Yes, and then you're gonna get choked.
Isn't that the best policy with anybody anyway?
Let me get up.
Yeah.
It's tough because like a lot of wrestlers go to all fours, right? They do that wrestle style where they fight the hands and stand up. Well, you go to all fours, you expose your neck, you expose your back. Jiu-jitsu guys love that.
You like that?
I prefer that. I wrestle with a lot of guys.
You're also not you're not afraid of being on your back. You haven't been on your back too much in the octagon.
No, not at all.
But you're not afraid of being on your back.
No.
You're comfortable on your back.
Yeah.
That's your house?
I don't know if I'd ever use that.
I'll use that
phrase.
Might be your house.
Are you
like if he comes in your house?
If Mark Hunt takes me down in August and I'm on my back, are you gonna be yelling, "It's your house"?
No. I want
this
you
is
to
your
go.
House.
No, I want you to go. Hey, bro, this is my house now.
Whisper in his ear.
Yeah. Hey, bro.
Welcome to Shab.
And I want you to say it in Samoan.
No, this is what I'm gonna say. Welcome to Shab's world. I'm like,
can you look up how to say "this is my house" in Samoan, please? Can you do that? Because I want to then say it. I want you to memorize it.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, you're in Shab's world. I'm like Quiznos serving up hot subs and then submit them.
Hot subs.
Serving up hot subs.
This is Shab's world. This is like Quiznos. This is like, I'm serving up hot subs. That is so stupid.
Probably would elbow me in the face.
That's so stupid, but the funniest thing I've ever heard.
How funny is that?
This is
I'm
hot.
like, welcome
I'm
to
like, ooh, looks like you're in Quizno land. He'll be like, huh? And you'll be like, I'm serving up hot subs. Triangle.
Triangle.
That's pretty impressive.
How about I whisper in his, this is how it's going to go down.
Could you triangle him? He doesn't have a neck.
This will be tough.
He doesn't have a neck. He just got a
I'm not known for my triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he hit the ground, I just whisper in his ear like this. Oh, you messed up. Welcome to Shab's world. I'm like Quiznos, serving up hot subs.
And you'll hear me go, hot subs.
You're in the back going,
yep.
Hot.
Hot subs, Mark. Hot subs. You just got.
I don't have a big Quiznos sponsor on my shorts. Serving up hot subs.
You just got subbed hot style. with some Shab sauce.
Shab sauce. How about we played volleyball yesterday, and it was the windiest day of the year.
Windiest day where Tony Jeffries, a Brendan striking coach, an Olympic boxer.
He came with his pregnant wife who watched on the sidelines.
She sat out.
Yes,
we ignored the crap out of her.
Didn't say a word to her.
Poor girl.
That's your fault.
But Tony Jeffries is, for a guy who grew up in the northeast of England, has never played sand volleyball. I was very impressed with his ability.
You?
Yes.
You and him kind of took over.
Yeah, he was very good, and we beat you pretty badly, bro, huh?
Well, my back still hurts from carrying that team.
Well, you did. You had one guy.
First of all, Brian goes, "Hey, meet my friends. They're from whatever, New York. I've known them since high school." I'm like, "All right, cool." I look at the guy. I'm like, "He cannot be athletic." And then you gave me the tailpiece kid.
Yeah, I gave you Hunter.
You gave me Hunter.
He's a big Dutch ass.
He's
not a big athlete. He reads a lot, but not a big athlete.
Might be the smartest guy we know.
Might be the smartest guy we know.
Chemist?
And a biochem major from Harvard, speaks 9 languages.
Which is great, but when you're doing anything
not a good volleyball.
So I looked at him, I'm like, all right, he sucks. He's super unathletic, but he can speak 10 languages. That might come in handy.
And he's big.
He's big, but so unathletic, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then... Well, when God was giving out brains, he was in the front of the line.
Yeah.
Then he said, athletically, go ahead and get in the back.
Well, when he was giving out the fast twitch muscle, all the slow twitch muscle went to.
There's not one single fast twitch muscle in his body.
No, he's not a big.
But like I said, I'll tell you what, he gets. We'll go back to volleyball. I bet you he gets ladies with that big brain.
Yes, he does. Because he's a handsome guy.
You think?
Not bad.
I wouldn't describe him as handsome.
Not a bad looking guy. And big, and a lot of girls
I
like
wouldn't describe him as handsome.
No, well,
you don't walk in the room and like, dang, look at that handsome dude.
He's not Brendan Shaw, but
I mean,
you're not mad at my hair today and my tan and my beard. I dyed it.
Yeah, but you know what? You dyed just the sides. You look like Hulk Hogan when he was in the what were those days when he's not in the WWE. What was the WCW?
Yeah,
when he was like Mean Hogan. You look like the Mean Kid.
I met Everlast. I had dinner with him, and
Who?
He has Everlast.
Who?
Everlast.
One more time.
Everlast.
Is that the guy, the singer?
Yeah. And he has a singer.
Everlast, the guy who sings what song? Jump. Is that him?
Yeah.
Is that Everlast?
He was House of Pain, but
that's him.
Yeah, went off on his own.
You went to dinner one-on-one with Everlast?
No, me, him, and Rogan and Ari Shafir. And
Whose friend is he?
He's Joe Rogan's.
Does he still sing?
He does, and he has a little gray in the middle of his beard, so we have that in common.
So then you went home and was like, I'm going to dye my sides to look like Everlast.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, so you're a fan of his.
I like his songs. His songs are better than his rap. His songs are great. He broke off and did his own.
I remember that. And, God, I forget
what
his
is that
songs.
song? I ever wonder what it's like walking another man. I can't do it, but he's got.
Wow, that was terrible.
That was bad.
I know what song you're talking about, though. Yeah. He went by the name of Whitey Ford, I think.
He might have. Yeah, Whitey Ford.
Everlast, also known as Whitey Ford these days.
There you go.
Good for you. Wow.
He's a good man.
Star-studded event, Brian.
Oh, yeah. And by the way,
you, Joe Rogan, Whitey Ford.
And may I say,
I mean, were people just asking for pictures and stuff? Or
you know what, man? I actually didn't know who he was at first because he came up
everybody else,
and we started talking, and then it dawned on me. He's a good guy. Now, I will say this about Metamoris. I want to just say this.
You're back on Metamoris?
I want to say this about jiu-jitsu and Brazil and that world.
I will snap.
Maybe the best looking women I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, whatever it is about jiu-jitsu, the men. Let's be honest, Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys are studs. They're just good looking dudes.
Well, you know when I was in Brazil doing a bunch of campaign and all that stuff. You know when I was fighting Nogueira and freaking whatever, going to the favelas. Little kids down there. I'd see little kids with cauliflower ear, right?
Wow.
Just like beat up ears. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, you start doing jiu-jitsu? And then our guide was telling us that down there, jiu-jitsu is a sign of that you have money, that you're wealthy. You can afford to take jiu-jitsu and martial arts. Yeah. So little kids on purpose will get phone books and pliers and tear up their ears because it's more attractive to the women.
Damn.
Yeah. So if you fellas want some cauliflower, you let me know if you're going to head down to Brazil because I'll make it happen.
That means you got higher status.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
I missed you.
Brazilian women, man, crazy.
Oh my God!
You got a blowout ass.
My
usually,
God!
And they're not afraid to show it.
No, and the men are very good.
Hey, American women, take notes.
I mean,
can we? What are we doing?
Honestly,
we need to move to Brazil.
Let's be honest.
Find the kid, Brazil.
Got to do a Brazilian edition.
No, we just need to move down there.
They're so impressive, and they're nice people. I saw Rickson Gracie, the great Rickson Gracie. I didn't say hi to him. I was just kind of looking at him.
You were scared?
Listen, starstruck. He's a real master.
He's the man.
How would you think Rickson would do in Metamoris? I mean, he's older now, but his technicality and his ability to...
Oh, man. He's just a beast if he, trained.
Yeah.
It depends who's he going against.
Well, guy his size, I mean.
Guy his size, his age, you'd absolutely destroy him.
No, I'm saying, yeah.
A young, like a freaking, what were we talking about? Like a Bushesha, a guy who's in the mix?
It's a little different, yeah.
It's a different game.
Yeah.
He's a little older.
But
Rickson, young, as good as they get.
As good as they get.
As good as they get. By far.
Rickson Gracie.
Monster. We had Chael Sonnen in the house today at Rain. He's doing his camp with us.
I saw Chael at Metamoris.
Yeah.
Yep. He looks great.
Probably a big hit down there, I'd imagine.
He's a stud. That guy's a rock star. And everywhere he walks around, and people just cry. Guys just like, I got your picture. Like 6 guys.
It's crazy, right? And he probably gets the most hate out of any UFC fighter.
But people in a good
cannot
way.
Stand him.
In a good way.
Don't get it twisted. Chael, just a couple of years ago, this is how smart the guy is. Just a couple of years ago, was in the WEC. Just a pure wrestler. Fighting Paulo Filho. No one really cared. He was just this kind of boring, not exciting to watch. Even now, it's not like Chael's the most exciting fighter. Everyone tunes in. Yeah. You guys making a ton of money.
I love him.
He hypes himself.
Yeah.
How about he's the friendliest guy ever? And then our coach Ryan Parsons, who was like so my group today at Rain Training Center, we did like a Ironman group. So one guy stays for two rounds. The 2 fresh guys rotate on him. It was Chael Sonnen and Pat Cummins. So Pat Cummins was 3-time All-American, just fought DC. It didn't go his way. Anyways, but through wrestling, he's a monster. So I had Pat Cummins in my group, and then Chael Sonnen. Chael right now is about 235, 240 solid.
That's
about
ridiculous.
230.
I was amazed at how big he looks.
right now.
Yeah.
So
is Pat that heavy?
Yeah.
Pat's 230?
Yeah, Pat's shredded, yeah.
Jesus.
So that was our group. So we're joking around, right? God. It's a good time. We're going. We're getting after it. And then our coach wants to take a picture of us sitting down, which I posted in the UFC, retweeted anyways. And then Chael goes from laughing and everything to this weird face, like his persona. If you look at the picture, he's like mean, like a mean face.
Yeah. He's an actor.
Yeah, he is.
Chael is very funny. I mean, he's great. He's great. He's kind of who I'd like to be. I want to be that handsome.
If you could be in UFC fighter, that's who you'd want to be?
He's just a
Have you seen his wife?
Yeah, she's a dime piece, a smoke show. He's a
show.
stud. He's a stud. Great personality, and he looks like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel a little bad about myself. Right now, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
You should probably go work out.
I don't feel good about myself around. When I go to Metamoris or the UFC, I usually don't feel that good about myself. And that's the truth.
Why?
Because I would like to look.
Have dots all over your legs?
Well, no, they're gone. Those are gone.
Are they?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God is right. But those are gone. My psoriasis cleared up. But I just...
Was it because your beards, you dyed it?
I just wish I was a little thicker. I wish I had some Samoan blood in me like you do. and then I would be.
I'm not
fine.
Samoan.
You're basically Samoan, bro.
No, I'm not.
The hilarious thing is that you actually believe you're English. That's amazing.
I'm half English.
No, you're not. Your mom's lying to you. She's not your real mom. I mean, she adopted you from a Samoan couple.
You might be right.
Yeah. There's no way you are, dude. You
Oh, can we go back to volleyball, though? We're talking about tailpiece. Anyway, so I had the most unathletic kid
and a guy
ever
with walking pneumonia.
who speaks 10 languages. The guy to my left had walking pneumonia. He's out there in the beach. We're playing at 6 o'clock. It's freezing out.
Yeah.
This guy's walking
He had
pneumonia.
to go, but they had to put him on a drip.
Might possibly be the worst player I've ever seen at beach volleyball. I mean, even if you've never seen the game in your life, you're going to do better than this guy.
Yeah.
So basically, it was me versus.
Well, he lives in Massachusetts. Give the guy a break. He never plays beach volleyball.
He's never played before?
By the way, I really had you running all over the place, bro.
It was tough. Like I said, my literally my back hurts from carrying the team.
Yeah.
Those guys were awful. Horrible.
We need to get some more games going.
We just need better talent.
It was so windy. It was ridiculous.
So if anyone out there is any good at beach volleyball, we don't need like a pro. We just need a common.
By the way, I'm sorry we're rambling because we're about to have Forrest Griffin on, and we're going to answer some Twitter questions. We got some very good ones coming in.
We had some good ones this time. Did you happen to see Naked and Afraid? I know I like to bring it up every Monday. It's because Sunday nights are Naked and Afraid.
Sure
time.
didn't.
Did you see it yet? Did you guys like
What
it?
What UFC fighter of all time would do really well in Naked and Afraid? Would you say? Who are you betting on?
Brendan Schaub.
I'm betting on Brendan Schaub through all of it.
100%.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm going Clay Guida. He just looks like he belongs in that forest.
That's interesting.
He can wear his hair.
Small. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
it's crazy.
An interesting pick.
Yeah, I got to go with Clay Guida, I think.
The white girl.
He feels like he comes out of the forest and then he just steps into the octagon.
You have to have a girl. Like last night's episode.
A girl?
The last night's episode, the guy was like, I don't know. He wanted to quit after day 4. He was starving. Yeah, he wanted to quit after day 4. And he ended up getting, he had a seizure and they got him off the show. And then the girl was by himself. Oh, this is for reals.
Was the girl hot?
She was a ginger. And it was in Fiji. Not fun.
No. She had red hair.
Red hair. Pale
How
body.
do you? Okay, but let's go back to this because I was thinking they have to get somewhere, so they're marching through the forest. I got to watch this show now.
Man, we've only talked about it 4 weeks in a row.
I know.
They start somewhere, and by the end of the 21 days, they have to get to the extraction point.
Okay, now hold
on.
But
they usually don't. They go there. They usually march to like the last day or whatever.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give you five things you can bring. 5 things you can bring.
It's Cajun spice in this.
Well, you can choose whatever you want. 5 things you can bring.
Well, you only get 1 on the show.
I know, but
and
I'm saying you can
one.
bring 5.
You're giving me a choice of 5?
Yeah, 5 things. What are they?
I mean, that makes the show stupid. That doesn't waste my time.
No, 5 things.
Pair of shoes, giant thing of water, a 60-pound bag of beef jerky.
So stupid.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
That's dumb.
Cajun seasoning.
Can't bring food, bro.
What?
Can't
you said
bring
5 things.
Well, guess what? Changing it. Changing it.
You only get 1.
Can't bring food, bro.
You get 1, man.
Hey, bro. What are you bringing? I'm not going to ask you again. Because I'm going to tell you what I'm bringing.
It's all the standard.
I'm bringing a pair of shoes.
That's stupid.
Athletic sandals.
That's the best part, man.
Athletic sandals.
This is ridiculous.
I'm bringing a jumpsuit.
A jumpsuit.
Yeah, that zips all the way up.
Oh yeah, you're gonna wear that in Fiji when it's 107 degrees.
It'll be the kind of thing I can pull up or take off. All right,
pull up or take off.
Yeah, you calm down.
You're gonna sleep in that,
huh?
You're gonna sleep.
Yeah,
in that.
so bugs don't bite me.
5 minutes, yes sir.
All right, I'm bringing a machete.
What are you saying?
A machete.
A machete.
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 Sorry, I speak Spanish. Machete.
All right, a giant knife. This is stupid.
You can't say you can't say machete.
Machete? Yeah.
Machete.
What's up, dog?
And then I'm bringing fire starting equipment.
Congrats, Brian. You're basically going camping. No one's going to watch that. No one's going to watch that show at all. Would anyone watch it in here? No. If you're just...
And I'm bringing a hammock.
Just film you and Rogan freaking hunting again.
I'm bringing a hammock, too.
How do you do do you complain a lot when you and Rogan go hunting?
Yeah, about the cold.
Yeah. See, I can't have that.
I wouldn't complain. I'm naked and afraid, bro.
Naked and afraid.
First of all, I got to sneak some clothing or something.
No, man. You got to let the dong hang in the front.
All right. I think you just want to be naked with me in the jungle, bro.
Sneak some clothes.
That was weird. When you just said that, you go, I want to see your dong hanging in the front. Then you took a slow sip
I didn't
of
say
water.
I want to see.
While you were keeping eye contact with me.
That's right.
Bro, don't keep eye contact with me and then take a slow sip of your coffee.
I didn't say I want to see your dong. Everyone's going to see your dong.
Your dong, you said,
dong.
yeah, and then you have your dong hanging in front.
Yeah.
And then you went, and you catch your eyes on me. Come on, bro. This is a podcast about fighting. I don't really want to talk about naked. Hey, I got an idea.
This
we have
is
one
you.
podcast, The Fighter and Kid, talk about fighting. Do we have any fights to talk about?
No, man. You've asked us the second
What's coming
time
up?
you've asked.
What fights are coming up? What do we?
There's nothing coming up.
What's
soon.
in the fight world? This is about fighting.
The next main event is Nogueira Nelson,
Well, I'm talking about that.
That's April what?
11th.
What you're calling that,
you.
bro? You fought them both, bro.
Okay, I
Bro, you
guess
fought them
next
both.
week's show will just kind of
Doesn't
apparently
matter.
Brian's just
Don't worry about
going
next
off.
week's show. We can talk about this stuff because we're going to get another perspective on this.
It's true. Nogueira, Roy. Listen, if it's the Roy that showed up against Stipe, which I think he had a runny nose and didn't feel good, Nogueira probably win. If I had to pick, if I have money on it, I think Roy knocks him out.
Really? Mm-hmm. Because Nogueira's boxing isn't.
No, Nogueira's boxing's amazing.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, then why?
Just Roy hits harder. I think he just hits harder. I don't think Nogueira's going to be able to take him down.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Nogueira win. I would. I'd love to see Nogueira win. I just don't see how. I don't. Although Nogueira's been on a tear lately. He's, besides, the Verdum fight, but he's been doing well with the younger guys.
All right.
Who do you got?
Else?
Who do you got?
Any breaking news? Anything we should know about?
We already covered this, Brian.
Weidman's knees are very bad. It's so hard.
Hold on. Hold. We talked about this last show, and he had surgery on both knees.
I know.
What else you got?
It's a problem.
They rescheduled it, and you got Jake Ellenberger, fellow podcaster, fighting your boy Robbie Lawler.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
that's an interesting fight.
It's a good fight.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Two guys with huge power.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I just think Jake has more ways to win. I think Jake's more explosive.
Really?
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler gave Johnny Hendricks the biz.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That was an interesting fight. Just them just sitting in front of each other playing pity patter. I wasn't
Weird,
crazy
right?
about it. Not crazy about it.
All right, Brendan, I got a question for you. Did you see the Paul Harris heel hook from World Series of Fighting this weekend?
I did.
What'd you think?
Nasty, right?
Did he hold it too long? That's the word that's going around. Everyone's up in arms over the whole Paul Harris holding submissions too long.
I know,
Well, especially
man.
if it's your ankle and it can ruin your career. Yeah.
It's his MO, right? It's like what he did in the UFC. That's why he was cut. And then then who is it? World Series of Fighting signed him, right?
Yeah, he fought Steve Carl.
Yeah, World Series Fighting's like, we'll take him. And then he hangs on to ankle lock too long again. Yeah, that's what happens, man. You sign that guy, someone's going to end up getting their ankle hurt.
That's not
What's
good.
weird is obviously no one wants to go to the ground with him, but what have you been doing all camp? If you're fighting Paul Harris, what are we doing?
You mean get ready for it? Drill it.
Yeah, I mean, jump into half guard, defend that, man. You need to get your DVD series that I did with Cyborg Abreu, shutting it down with Schaub. 3 easy steps, shutting it down with Schaub.
Yeah.
$9.99 a month, you get 3 moves, shutting it down with Schaub, Metamoris style.
I like that. Shutting it down with Schaub.
There's no DVD. I should create one though, huh?
Well,
How about your girl Cyborg lost though? She lost
That big
Muay
Dutch
Thai.
girl.
Yeah, which is weird. Granted it's not MMA, but still a loss. She kind of got her ass whooped. She got head kicked and almost knocked out.
yeah.
Guess what? Not good. You want to fight Ronda? You can't be losing these minor leagues trying to get to Ronda. That ain't happening.
Well, it is very different if it's Muay Thai versus MMA.
Doesn't matter.
It does.
I don't think it does.
Because when you're just a stand up fighter, you don't have to worry about the takedown, and it changes the whole game.
You know what? You're right. You're so right, Brian. Because Cyborg totally uses jiu-jitsu and takes everyone down and submits them. I'm sorry.
Don't put your finger at my face.
I'm sorry.
Don't put your finger at my face.
I'm
like that.
sorry.
I will knock it out of the way.
Dang, I wish you were more educated. It drives me
nuts. Bro, the point I'm making is this.
I want to smash this
when
cappuccino
you know
in your
the
face.
takedown is possible and someone who's as strong as Cyborg, you're not going to be as willy-nilly about your footwork. It's got to change. Your
I
game
know,
plan's
because
gotta-
her wrestling is dope. She takes
she's not
everybody down.
She's not a bad wrestler,
Oh,
bro.
man. She's just grinding
She's
out
not a
these
bad
decisions
wrestler.
like John Fitch.
She ain't a bad, and she can never get down to 35, so it doesn't make sense anyway.
Man, she says she can. I bet you she will. Money talks.
You think that Cyborg's never going to be allowed to fight Ronda, is she?
I have no idea, man. Yeah. I don't want to see it. Well, and then now with this loss, kind of like,
it's hard to be Cyborg being in no man's land like that.
It's hard to be Cyborg?
I mean, yeah, it's hard.
It's her choice. The UFC was going to sign her, and then Tito Ortiz was their manager and direct her another way.
Oh.
Tito Ortiz is no longer her manager.
Yeah. Interesting.
No longer her manager. You know what I want to talk about?
What?
First of all, I want to talk to Forrest, but I want to know what happened to that. This is bothering me. It has nothing to do with fighting or training or, doesn't affect me.
The plane?
The plane. The missing plane.
Your theory scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I know, right? I gave everyone a theory last night. I mean, it's pretty educated. I feel like I should call CNN and be like, listen, this is what's going down.
Tell the theory. It scares me.
You know what? I can't take full credit for it because I talked to a Navy SEAL, and he kind of told me this. A legit Navy SEAL.
Who's a professor?
Professor in San Francisco.
Okay.
This guy said, first of all, I was on a plane last Wednesday flying to Las Vegas for this Bud Light event, right? And I was thinking, this plane could go missing. It's happened before.
Right.
Granted, I don't think they're going to take a small plane going from Las Vegas or LA to Las Vegas. Right. Probably going to take one of the big rigs. Anyways, but that crossed my mind. If I went missing, you'd have to find a new guy for this, and then Hunt wouldn't have a fight, and you know how it goes, man.
Sure.
People would be sad.
Sure.
Anyways, this is what I think happened with the plane. So when planes take off, right, they're cruising altitudes like, what, 30,000?
32,000 feet, yeah.
So I guess when you get above 50,000 feet, the oxygen masks have to drop down.
Well, no, hold on. The problem with that theory is you'd have to lose cabin pressure and then. So you'd have to lose cabin pressure.
Do you want to hear my story and then debacle? Because I don't know. The professor from San Francisco begs to differ, Brian. Sorry.
Go on.
Yeah, it's weird. I know.
Go on.
And he was a Navy SEAL, but you can continue the theories.
Go on.
Anyways, so he says they took the plane to 50,000 feet. Above 50,000 feet, you have to have the oxygen come in. I get the cabin pressure, all that. The pilots can control those oxygen masks from coming down. They did not let. So he thinks the two pilots were in on it. He thinks two pilots are terrorists, somehow associated with the terrorists. So they flew to 50,000 feet, didn't let the oxygen mask come down. Everyone dies. That's why there's no cell phone outreach or anything like that, because no one had time for that. They're all panicking, dead. Then he flies back underneath 20,000 feet where it's undetectable and flew in somewhere he thinks around Israel.
So that they can then take that plane and
he thinks they're going to
load it with nuclear weapons.
Yeah,
or crazy.
Yeah, and then fly into, he doesn't know where, but he thinks that's what's going to happen. Because he was saying for them not to be able to find the plane is just that's unacceptable. Like, let's get real. This day and age with satellite and radar and the black box. And
yet they can't. So in other words, it may not have crashed.
They tell us they can't.
Right, it may not have crashed.
They tell us they can't. They have all these dumbasses in the ocean.
There are too many people involved, though, for it to be a secret. You can't keep that a secret. There's too many countries. Malaysia, China, United States, everybody's involved. So it's not like there's some consensus like we're going to... The plane's missing. Somebody got away with hiding a plane or it crashed, right? Who knows?
Well, if it crashed, we'd find the pieces.
Right.
It wouldn't take this long.
Or would we find the pieces? Wouldn't they sink? Since they're made of aluminum.
What about the black box?
And what about
the black
seats?
box has 6 hours of hour left.
The seats would be floating.
Yep, they would find parts of it, Brian.
Find some debris.
How crazy is this?
It is crazy. Although it's an area the size, it's a huge area that it could have gone down under. But why did it lose? Why did it lose radar contact? You know.
And they also, this is the other reason why I think the terrorists on it, because you have to turn off the radar, and they said someone turn those off. You'd have to know what you're doing to turn it off. Yep.
Wow.
It's crazy to me. I can't get enough of it. I turn on CNN. It says breaking news, which they're totally lying. It's not breaking news at all.
Can I ask you a question as a fighter? If you have to, this is I'm a sensitive subject because this really happened to people. But if you have hijackers on a plane You got to take them out. You got to take 3 hijackers.
It will
out.
never happen again because people know what's going to happen when.
But what are you?
If they hijack the plane, they can't be like, all right, we're not going to kill anyone. We're just going to, take the plane over. We just want money. Nope. Now everyone knows they're going to crash this bad boy into a building. That's what you're going to think. As soon as the hijack stands up, what
are you doing to him? Hitting him or choking him?
Punching him right in the face and knocking him out.
Right away, right?
Right away, and then looking for the other guys.
You got to start punching quick.
Yeah, everyone on board just has to go.
You might do a front kick right down the aisle.
You might. Those aisles are tiny, man. It's hard for me to get down the aisle. I'm supposed to have a backpack.
So you're catching him.
I'm taking the peanuts. I'm throwing them in his face. Right?
You're gonna kill him. Are you gonna kill these guys with your bare hands? You got to kill them.
You do. I'm gonna knock one down and then let the common folk kind of do what they want, kind of Walking Dead style. Kill him like by numbers.
The last guy, the mastermind, you got to kill him. How are you gonna kill him? He's in the cockpit. He's got a razor blade.
Can I get in the cockpit?
He's got a knife. Yeah, careful. He's got a knife.
That doesn't bother me.
It doesn't?
No.
He'll open you up quick, dude.
No. Well, there's also going to be an air marshal. Me and him be partners.
Nah, air marshal got taken out. He's tied up. Sorry, bro.
It'll be easy, man. Anyways, can we talk to Forrest? I don't know, man.
Is Forrest on the line?
Let's go. Hold. Let's ask Forrest what he thinks of this plane. I wish we had more info about it. I really do, boys.
These guys are swinging away, these two. Look at this.
How about on?
Ooh.
Forrest Griffin. What's up, brother? It's Brendan and Brian here.
Yeah, what's happening, man?
I appreciate you coming on, boss.
Thanks for joining the greatest podcast of all time, Forrest Griffin.
Wow, you said it yourself. You're supposed to get somebody else to.
Oh, sorry. That's
that was weird. It's awkward.
You're right.
Let me tell you. Let me put it like this: it is an honor to join the greatest podcast of all time.
I like your attitude, young man. I already like the way this podcast is going. I like that attitude.
Good.
By the way, when I was doing stand up at the MMA Awards, Forrest shouted out something, which was so funny.
What did you shout out?
I don't know. What did you say? I can't remember.
I don't even know. I was like heckling you. Like when you were talking about Shaft's videos, like, it looked tough when he did it in Gladiator. And then, like, as I said that, I was like, why are you such a contrary asshole for it? Like, the guy's trying to tell jokes. He's doing
funny.
Awesome at it, and you have to do like, oh, but it was tough when the guy in Gladiator did, man.
It was still funny. You got that deep voice.
Yeah, it's like you're telling a joke and I'm arguing with you. Like, what kind of idiot does that?
Listen, man, you can do no wrong, my friend. And I heard you did a little stand-up.
Emphasis on a little bit, yeah.
Forrest, was that before UFC days? Were we talking here? You're like down in Georgia, going to the Sharkies in Georgia. And doing stand-up?
Yeah, I've done both. But the problem is when I hear like a real comedian, I realize I have no business doing that shit.
Well, it's kind of like me. It's kind of like me taking boxing. Yeah.
Exactly. Like when I heard you do stand-up, I was like, I should probably not do this. And also, too, every time I do it, I get so drunk that I just,
Because you're nervous?
Yeah, so I drink heavily. Just like when I used to be single. I used to always drink before I would try and talk to women.
Is that right? That surprises me because you're such a badass and you're a big handsome guy. You got to do something about those ears, but other than that, you're a handsome masculine man. I'd imagine women like you. I'm surprised you'd be nervous.
Well, he's married. He's married with a kid.
Well, no, I just I would just always drink. It's much easier. I happen to like myself better. I'm a good drunk. I happen to like myself better when I drink.
Are you? Did you find the transition of going from fighting to not fighting difficult?
To what? I haven't actually done anything else yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, don't get it twisted. Forrest is an employee of the UFC. Like he does stuff for the UFC.
Right, and a personality, so it's great.
Yeah. I mean, like I do stuff.
Forrest, what would you say you do?
I make sure I do the triplicate portion of the TPS report. Make sure everybody gets their TPS report.
Yeah, not too many people pick up on the Office Space line.
I love it.
Sometimes I just show up at the office and people like tell me, oh, hey, can you do this? I'm like, oh, I would, but I'm doing such and such for Jim. And then Jim's like, hey, are you doing? I was like, no, Bill just got me to do something, man. I'm sorry. I can't. So,
what's cool about that is you are what's good about being Forrest Griffin is that anywhere you go, there are always a group of guys at least that are going to like having you around. Like it's kind of to be that high profile a fighter. First of all, it's a big accomplishment, but it is. I'm sure everywhere you go, you get a lot of love, right?
Well, I get a lot of free drinks.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like being a hot chick. It's
exactly.
Awesome.
I mean, I did an appearance with Forrest, and it was Forrest, DC, Demetrius Johnson, Tyrone Woodley, everyone. And Forrest was definitely the hit of the party.
I was going to say,
people still love him.
Yeah, he's the most famous guy in that group.
For sure.
Mainly because of your epic fights. What was your favorite? I was there. I was live when I saw you beat Rampage. And
yeah, that's awesome.
That was an amazing fight. I watched you. I was so close to the cage. I could literally see you like almost talking to yourself, like thinking through the shots, and those leg kicks were hellish.
Well, now we know you're lying because I wasn't really thinking. I don't do too much thinking.
It looked like it, dude. It was a great fight. And then I saw you afterwards. But yeah, what is your favorite fight? What's the fight that you look back on and you're the most proud of?
You know, it's got to be the Stefan fight because, you know, like literally 2 weeks later, I was in an apartment with some people and we were watching the fight on TV and everybody just starts looking at me like, what the hell? You know, like, you know, and then it was still like, you're on TV. And that was like one day I had a job and the next day my job was just to fight, which was pretty cool.
That was so exciting.
It was a part-time job.
That was kind of a seminal moment for the UFC, I think. That was such an exciting...
Well, that's what I keep telling people, too, you know. I keep telling people how important that was. Yeah. Just like the importance of this podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you. You gotta get the word out, man. You got to get the word out. I'll never forget that fight because it was like... people were watching it, and then you're calling. It was like this wave of excitement. I remember watching it, and then I called my friend. My friend called his friend, and that was before Twitter and all that.
Had you ever even trained before when you saw that fight?
That fight was what year was that? That was in 2000.
2005.
No, nope.
That's crazy.
That's funny, right?
That's so weird how time flies.
That's crazy, huh?
Damn, 2005 was actually a long time ago. I can't take it.
Yeah, it was so long ago. That sucks getting old. I don't like it at all.
Well, you know, do you look like you were in shape. Do you still train or no?
I actually don't do anything at all right now.
And you've lost weight, right, Forrest? You looked a little thinner, right, than when you're fighting days.
Yeah, that's what I you know, I guess if you have to pick one, when I do nothing, I get skinnier, which is better than the alternative.
True that.
Yeah.
I'm actually like 10 or 12 pounds lighter than I was when I fought. I'm like 6 pounds lighter than when I graduated high school.
You don't do jiu-jitsu or anything anymore?
I did jiu-jitsu, and then I popped my knee again, the one I tore.
Dang.
So I'm going to get that maybe taken care of and start again.
So are you waking up and driving to the UFC offices? What are we talking about here?
Oh, yeah. No, I work every day, twice a week, sometimes, you know, for hour.
The struggle is real for Forrest Griffin.
Every day, twice a week, sometimes for an hour. Yeah, man. In the meantime, living in Vegas. Do you like Vegas?
Yeah. I do like Vegas because, you know, I hate life. I love the desert, and I love the absence of everything. It's cool, though. You ever just, like, I live here. I've been here a long time, and sometimes I just drive around. I grew up near the water, so I just drive around and be like, well, what are these people doing here? Don't they know this whole city's going to collapse? Why did I buy a house here? What am I doing?
Right. Well, what about your kid? You have one child?
A youngster?
Just one. I'm trying to have that second. They're harder to make than you'd think.
Well, you pack heat. I'm sure you pack heat.
Whatever that means.
He packs heat. The kid probably can get somebody pregnant. He can get somebody pregnant in a hot pool. Just looks at him. He's just all testosterone.
Is that what it is?
That's
hot pool. Okay.
That's what I like to say.
Forrest, do you still watch UFC? Are you watching every fight, or are you just completely out of it? You're just getting away from it?
No. You know, I watch most of the main events, and then I you know, I'm still. I know I'll grow out of it, but right now, and I have the same thing with football. I'm at the bitter stage.
Yeah.
Where, like, I used to watch fights, and I would see, like, Anthony Pettis or Cub Swanson do something, and I would go do it on the bag Monday for, like, an hour, you know? I'd be like, oh, yeah. And now I see people do stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I could never do that. And I'm just like, screw him.
Well, why? Because the level of athlete has or just technique and stuff? What?
You know, everybody's gotten better, and I just got older. You know, and that was one of the things. One of the things that you know, one of the reasons why I quit was because, you know, what's fun winning is fun. The feeling of getting better is fun. Like when you go in and you're, you know, in your first 5 years before you hit that plateau and you're like, oh man, you do a sweep that you just learned, or you keep somebody, you know, in the liver and you're like, oh God, I just learned that. It's so awesome. Well, you know, the last couple of years for me, it was basically like just trying to stop the decline as much as I could, you know?
Right.
Weird.
Well, you handled you made it so, you handled the defeat with Anderson Silva. Like I heard you do an interview and you were laughing and you handled it with such comedy and humor. It was really refreshing to see something like that.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do with that, you know? What's the alternative?
Yeah, right.
I mean, you take Artsec, you're like, well, I'm not going to go slip my wrist in the shower right now, so I guess I'll laugh at
but Forrest, like, let's not take anything away from you. I mean, I've been watching your whole career. You are a legit badass and a really good athlete and a really good fighter. And then
I have been in over 50 street fights.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't think people realize how big Forrest is either.
Yeah,
so Forrest and I fought on the Brazil card together.
Right.
And when we took pictures for promotional stuff, is Forrest, Okami, and myself. Yeah. I was the smallest guy.
Yeah, Forrest, you're a legit 6'4".
Yeah, Okami's huge too. That's ironic because I rolled with Okami and I was like, oh my God, why are you so strong?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Well, you're 6'4" or 6'5"?
No, 6'3".
No, are you 6'3"?
Legitimate 6'3".
A legit 6'3".
But fighting days, you would get up to what? 240 maybe? 235?
Yeah, 240. Yeah, 240, 245.
He's bigger than me in Brazil. I was like, damn.
That's a big boy. What about fighting somebody? I know you've been asked this a lot, but I just have to ask it. When you fight,
before. I've never been asked it by you. And that's what counts.
And that's what counts on the greatest podcast of all time.
Oh, I hope this isn't a stupid question.
Hey,
Forrest, does it hurt when you get punched in the face?
No. I want to ask you why, and answer it in the best way you can. I'm sorry about how general this question is. Why is Anderson Silva so damn good? What makes him so good? Do you think his ability?
I mean, it's easy. It's hand-eye coordination and the depth, kind of his depth perception. You ever heard a statistic that? Sorry, I started stuttering there. That was weird. But the statistic that most baseball players have like 20/15 vision.
Yes.
You know, and that's actually true. Well, he's got that. You know, he's just got that timing. Like the time from his eyes to his mind to his hand is shorter than the time from your eye. You know, the time that you have to react is much shorter than his. Like as far as an all-out blitz, you know, a guy like Rashad or Vitor is quicker.
Wow.
But as far as a reaction, Anderson would be quicker.
Yeah, you know, Freddie Roach said he'd never seen
that reaction and the judge of distance. I've never been a good judge of distance.
Right. Well, Freddie Roach said that he'd never seen anyone judge distance as well as Anderson Silva does.
Really?
Yeah. Freddie Roach said that.
I'm glad I finished from a point there. See?
There you go. So that's what it is. I mean, and a lot of it is like just having the hardware.
He would have been an excellent tennis player.
Yeah, or a baseball player. He's built like it. He's not overly muscular.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's cool because I got beat up by a guy that looks like he should be a tennis player.
Listen, you put an ass whooping on plenty of people, bro. It's why people buy you free drinks. And I mean, you know, say what you will, Forrest, but the fact.
And I've heard rumors that I put out.
And you put out. But the fact of the matter is, you know, when you walk into a room, everybody knows that you've been in the round and you've put it all out there. That's what, you know, nobody can take at a high level. Was it a surprise to you that you made it?
It's just because they see my ears and they're like, yeah, that guy.
those big old ears. Was it a surprise that you got to where you got to? I mean, was it a surprise to you that you made such a name for yourself in the game?
Maybe, yeah. You know, it was. But I'll tell you this: it's amazing how quickly the extraordinary goes to being ordinary. Like I told you, the first fight with Stephan, I saw myself on TV. I was freaked out.
Right.
And you know, fast forward 2 years, I saw myself on a billboard. And I wasn't fazed. I was literally like driving behind a taxi that like my picture was on the face of, and it just was like, oh, so yeah, that's right, I'm fighting for months, you know.
Yeah.
It's just it's you know, you kind of like you lose perspective.
Well, that's the quote we're going to be using. When the extraordinary becomes ordinary, you get inoculated to anything.
What do you miss the most, Forrest? Just the chase, the pursuit?
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying like chase pursuit. It's that you're building something. Every day you go to work and you put a piece in. You know, the feeling like you're working towards something, the goal. You know, it's fun to have a goal, clear in mind, and then work towards it. You know.
Was there a certain time when you were like, yep, it's time to retire? Or was it a number of things? Or was it just one day you woke up, you're like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
No. It was one day when my knee was straight, and then one day when it was over to the left. And then I was like, you know.
Yeah.
So I just, like, immediately when I hurt my knee, I said I was retired. But even in my own head, I hadn't, like, you know, I wasn't even sure, like, that I was going to retire. But then when I started to try and come back and just, you know, get healthy, I love to work out. So I was working out and training, and I was like, wow, you're not very good, Forrest. You should not come back.
You're just not
Literally,
good.
it was like, you know, I used to be a decent NASCAR driver, right? So I'm driving NASCAR. And then all of a sudden it was like, I was on the NASCAR in like a Ford Festiva or something. I was like, what is it?
Everyone else is passing you by.
Well, that's called, you know what that's
Exactly.
called, dude? That's
Wow,
called
just don't-
self-awareness. I wish more fighters had self-awareness so they didn't go out with crazy injuries and on their shield, you know?
You know, it's self-awareness, one, and then two, what have you got planned financially for your future? And it's hard. It's been hard for me. You know, this has been my dream since I was 19.
Yeah.
You know, what do you want to build? And I would like, I don't want to send people in the cage for money. What? No, nothing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Because
So
you
then you're
can't.
like, you know, what are you doing now? Talking about people.
Were you smart with your money, Forrest? Like, did you have a good team around you? Because a lot of guys, you know, Chris Lieben, some of these other guys, they have to fight to pay the bills because they have no other choice.
I'm not smart, and I didn't have a good team, but I'm frugal.
You didn't have a smart team
I
around
knew-
you? I feel like you did, no?
No. I what I'm saying basically is this, you know, I never went up. You know, I still drive the Scion. I still am cheap on things, you know.
Gotcha.
I don't want a car where I have to have full coverage insurance.
You're smart.
You know,
You're smart.
That's like where I'm at. I don't ever buy bills. I don't like, you know, to accumulate stuff. You know?
You're smart.
So, I'm going to do something crazy, and we're going to have 2 kids, and we're going to put them through school. So that's where my money's going to go.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I love it. I love everything about that.
I'm wearing free BSN sweatpants right now, and they haven't sponsored me in like 5 years.
Would you, is there a celebrity, and don't say me because I'm not a celebrity, but is there a celebrity out there you'd like to punch in the face?
Well, I mean, I didn't want to punch you in the face, but
You just want to hug
man,
them.
there's so many people. Come on, man. You know, well, I used to like care about politics. So it used to be like I wanted to fight Bill Maher and Bill O'Reilly at the same time. I would like to
At the
beat
same
crap
time.
out
They
of them.
both need an ass whooping. They do both need an ass whooping. That's great.
Yeah, like what are you guys talking about? Come on. Like, and like the thing is, like, I think they believe the crazy things they're saying.
Yeah.
That makes it even worse to me.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. My friend, we appreciate you joining the fighter and the kid, and I hope to hang with you again. I only met you briefly, but I hope to hang with you sometime. I'll be in Vegas.
I know,
soon.
but obviously it left an indelible mark. So, you know,
My friend,
so-
you're outstanding. You damn right you did. Don't put yourself down. You're a smart guy, and you were
Oh,
a
I
great
don't
fighter.
have to put myself down. Twitter does that for me.
Yeah, man. Don't listen to any of that shit. God, that
You know, it's amazing that you can't fight the internet. It's unfortunate because I would totally fight the internet.
Yeah.
And or grammar.
Brendan says the same thing. Brendan says the exact same thing. Just
Yeah, let's fight the internet. Me and you, tag team the internet.
Tag
it is.
team, let's do it, man. I
There it
appreciate you coming on, brother. I know you're busy, kind of, but I appreciate you
I mean,
coming on, man.
I'm really not.
he could be here for 2 hours just chatting.
Like, yeah, so what's going on? What are you guys got going on? I'm
Exactly.
going grocery shopping.
Dude, the next time I perform in Vegas, you got to come out and do 10 minutes on my show.
All right, I'll come out. I'll do an opener for you, and that way, from you just the difference between us people think.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Oh my
I'd
God,
love
It'll
it.
highlight, right?
better.
It'll highlight, dude. I'm seriously. I want you on the show. And if you're in LA, let me know, and I'll put you on. We'll have a blast.
All right, boss.
All right, buddy.
Take it easy,
All right,
guys.
Forrest,
Thank
I'll
you.
talk to you soon,
Thanks,
brother.
brother. An
All right,
original,
thanks.
a true original. Forrest Griffin and a great fighter.
Right? One of the good guys,
I love that guy.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing not to like.
I haven't seen him in a while. Forrest and I have always just been really cool, man. We'll talk back and forth.
He's a good person.
When we did this Bud Light event together last week in Vegas, he goes, how's things going, man? I go, you know how it goes. I'm doing good. You know. And he goes, he literally goes, no, I don't know. That's why I asked. He goes, I don't stalk your Twitter and Instagram. I have no idea. Because that's why I asked. Yeah,
that's why I asked.
It's great, right?
Good. Let's get some
Let's
questions.
get to these fan questions. Take these headphones off, huh?
Oh, man.
Your hair's all jacked up.
I know.
I love the Hogan WCW.
I got to wear it long
facial hair. We got some good ones, man. We got to answer a number of these. Let's see. This is at Sloth is Legend. Love the name. Sloth is Legend. To both of us, Cal and Shab, who's the most famous person you ever got to, they give some weird name here, but talk to?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise? What'd he say to you?
I talked to him for an hour
He
and
gave
a
you
half.
tips on dyeing your hair, didn't
Talked
he?
to him an hour and a half about our kids, about everything.
Really?
Yep. And Springsteen. Springsteen and Tom Cruise. Talked to both of them.
Nah, they're up there.
Yep.
I would say for myself, Robert Downey Jr. or
Will Smith.
Yeah, or Will Smith.
Yeah. And they both knew who you were.
Correct.
That's the difference between they didn't know who I was, but they knew who you were. So.
Nah.
All right.
All right, Nick, that was an easy one. Next question, Alex Bones Jones. He says, listen, Callan, Shab, he also include Forrest, where's that missing plane? Listen, man, I told you.
Yeah.
The San Francisco professor told me.
Listen, rewind
what
the podcast.
What do you think, Brian?
I
Where's this plane?
like that idea. I like that they figured out a way to hijack the plane, and now they're going to use it. I mean, I don't like the idea, but I think that's certainly.
So you're just going to take. You're just going to. You don't have your own opinion on this.
Not really. I mean, Do you think
the hostages are alive or dead?
I hope they're alive, but chances are they're
It's
not.
tough after this much time, right?
I don't know, man.
Who knows?
Their
Tricky
plane got
question.
lost.
Next question. We're going to rip through these. At Manny Lopez 88. It's raining. It says at Brendan Schaub. It's raining. It's 2 a.m. and Brian Callen asks you to help him bury a body. What do you do? I for sure call the cops and snitch on him. Yeah. First thing I do. Speak out 911 and snitch on him.
Brendan has a big mouth, so there's no way
you're calling me for sure.
You cannot keep a secret.
Who's going to dig that 6-foot hole, my man?
That's true. I need you.
Yeah, you need me with this big old back.
I do need your back, bro.
So let's see. He's asking, man, what do I do? He asked me to help bury your body. Me and Brian are taking a cruise down PCH, dumping that body over in the water.
Yeah, I'm helping you.
I'm going to load the body. No, I'm helping you. Of course you're going to help me.
Yeah.
We're going to go down PCH. I'm going to do it old school gangster style, put some cement on the feet. Boop. Right overboard. PCH.
Yep.
Easy. Done.
Yep.
Too easy. Let's see. Another one here at Manny Lopez 88. How many average guys could you fight? How many guys would it take? How many guys would it take to hold you down and pee on you? At Brian, at Brendan.
You know what, man? Me and Tony Jeffries, we had you yesterday on the beach.
No.
Yeah, we had you, bro. So probably 2.
No, not a chance. I'd say it takes 6 decent-sized dudes to hold me down and pee on me.
Yeah.
What do you think? I think 1 for you because I could hold you down right now and piss on you.
Hey, no, you couldn't piss on me because I keep you busy, bro. I keep you honest. With my elbows, my punches to your stupid
You
face.
have good footwork.
Yeah, bro.
I would for sure grab your hair in that awful dye job you did.
And
today.
I would totally give up right away because of my hair. Because I don't want to
You'd
lose
be worried
any more
I'd rip it out.
Yeah, I don't want to lose any more.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, at Anton _squared. What kind of? Let's see. Who would last longer, Brian inside the octagon or Brendan on the stage doing stand up?
Brendan on stage doing stand up. He could actually do stand up, and I would die quickly. Don't ever ask that stupid question again. Who is that?
That's at Lacrosse Rob.
I might have to block you, Lacrosse Rob.
Rob, no, Rob's nice. Don't block Rob.
I'm kidding. All right. Thanks.
Let's see.
Read who it is so we give them a shout out.
That's what I did.
Oh.
At Captain Bash. If you were to train in using a weapon, what would it be, Brian?
Probably an AR-15.
A gun? That's your weapon you get trained in?
Yeah.
That's the art of shooting a automatic rifle?
Yeah, it's a martial art.
This is stupid.
It's a martial art. Dude.
It's not a martial art. It takes zero skill.
Oh, you're out of your mind. Oh, it does it?
Oh, to spray, hold down the trigger and
thank
spray
you.
everyone?
First of all, you don't spray. You put it on burst or semi-automatic. See, you don't know anything about it.
Wait, can you do it?
I've had some training.
Yeah, then I can do it. Okay, yeah. So
well,
I would probably do a katana sword or something like that. Something cool, not a stupid ass automatic rifle.
A knife would be good.
I mean, just a regular knife.
In case I'm in a prison yard. Or, I want to know how to
shank. You want the martial art of shank?
I want to learn how to use it.
No, you want to learn shank.
Yeah.
I'll teach you shank.
Oh,
you know who taught me shank?
I know a knife expert.
Kimbo Slice taught me shank.
I know a knife expert. We should have him
for
on.
reals. Yeah. Have him on and do what? Talk to us about, what are you trying to have the boringest podcast? Hey, knife expert, welcome to the podcast.
I want to talk about
people can't see anything?
Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Knife expert, you're fired. At Anton Squared, at another one from Anton _Squared. What is your last meal, death row style? What you got, Callan?
Probably a 1982 Chateau Lafite Bordeaux.
What is that? Is that a wine?
It's a great wine. And some wild boar prosciutto from the Basque region of Spain with a cage-aged cheese from the same region and some bread from the same region.
I'm sorry, I zoned you out.
Sorry.
I would do
a chocolate sundae. I'd do a Dairy Queen chocolate sundae because I like candy and sweets. I'm Brendan. Oh, sorry.
For sure want to do a chocolate sundae. I
do a banana split. I like soft, creamy things in my mouth with sugar.
That's ridiculous.
Oh.
I would do a nice fillet and some barefoot red wine, sweet red.
God.
I'd do 2 bottles of sweet red and a nice filet mignon.
There you go.
Medium rare.
Boring.
Side of corn. All right, moving on. At Collins Mike 1. You can invite one fighter, one comedian to join you two in Vegas for a trip. Who do you take?
One comedian, one fighter?
Yep.
Probably Bill Burr because he's hilarious. And one fighter, probably, I don't want to say because it'd probably be a girl.
Who?
No, I mean, I'm married, so, but no, guy, who would I like to bring? I'd like to get to know Anderson Silva.
So you're bringing Bill Burr and Anderson Silva?
Yeah.
I would probably invite one comedian. I'd probably invite our boy Dove or Whitney Cummings.
What am I saying? I'd bring my friends.
I'd probably bring Whitney Cummings and the one fighter. Man, probably one of my boys, Cody Donovan. Or
I know, but that's a boring answer.
That's a boring answer. You want to? All right.
It's got to be somebody
All right, I would bring Mark Hunt. Yeah, I'd bring Mark Hunt to Vegas and we would fight in MGM.
That's actually a great answer.
That's what we'd do.
Great answer.
I'd bring Whitney Cummings so she could watch the fight and I'd pay for Mark Hunt's flight. And then
thanks for bringing me. You didn't bring me.
Well, no, you're there. We're both bringing people.
Yeah, that's true.
And so what I'd do is I'd have Mark Hunt there and then it'd be crazy because we'd fill up this big arena and there'd be cameras everywhere and then the mat would say UFC on it and then we would fight and there'd be a ref, Herb Dean, and then Dana White would be in the crowd. Oh, that's a UFC fight. That's what I would do. Okay? It'd be Mark Hunt.
That.
There you go. At DC _808, what would you cook if you were hosting a dinner party, Brian?
I thought you said you'd cook me. If I was hosting a dinner party, I would roast a leg of venison, which I actually have in my freezer.
Roast what? That's horrible, man.
Why,
no one's going to come over your house.
Why, deer?
A deer? I mean, that's all you're going to have?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. With a sprig of sage and some garlic and salt. It's delicious meat.
I mean...
Euphrain. Bambi! I like deer. I like fawn.
Hey, everyone, come over. I'm roasting deer.
That's not how
dinner
I talk.
party.
That's not how I talk.
Dinner party.
Hey, Brian, I'll come to your thing. Do you have banana splits? I like banana splits. But hold the banana. I like ice cream. That's my impression of Brendan.
Stupid. Ready for this one? At Imagine7, what is the best, most useful piece of advice you two have ever received? Who is it from? Go, Brian.
Oh, boy. I I like the best advice I've ever received was change the primary question in your mind. What is the question you're asking yourself every day, and change it to something useful and helpful. So don't ask questions like, what if I fail? Well, what if I don't succeed? What if I'm not lovable and all that? And change it. Change the question to something awesome, like what action do I have to take today to get closer to who I want to be, etc.
Wow.
Yeah.
My dad told me once, when I was going into a big fight, he used the acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So that's for my dad. Too. Especially going to a fight. You overthink stuff.
Yep.
Keep it simple,
Don't
stupid.
focus on the problem, focus on the solution.
Booyah. Man, we got so many good questions here. A couple more, dudes. Let's see. At Big Brown, Brendan Schaub, if you fought Fedor tomorrow, how badly would you beat the brakes off of him? I don't know.
If you fought who?
Fedor. I don't know what he's doing. He's just a monster to hang with any given day.
Yeah.
If the UFC signed him right now and the UFC said I'm fighting him in July, would I beat him? 100%.
Yeah, but you're talking about one of the great fighters.
Yes, you're talking about one of the greats. I would have my hands full.
You'd be training hard for him.
Oh, yes.
And watching tape and figuring out what he does.
For sure.
Yeah.
This one's easy. At PJ Menez 109. Who do you want to fight? At Brendan Schaub. Mark Hunt in August. That's going down. There you go. At Brendan Schaub, at Brian Callen. Have either of you ever trained with Crone Gracie? How do you think he'll do in MMA? I've trained with Crone. Me and him did this kind of, I don't know what you call it, like a Shark Tank match where you roll until there's two guys left, everyone in the class. And I was at his academy in Culver City, and there's probably, 20 guys in the class. The last two standing were me and Crone, and me and him had a match for probably dang near 40 minutes, dripping in sweat, and he caught me in an armbar.
That's crazy how good he is.
It's ridiculous how good he is. At Brendan Schaub, at Brian Callen, #firing the kid. Will Bruce Buffer ever announce you as Big Brown? Callen, what do you think?
Well, I think he should, and I think that should be your name, not the hybrid.
Just switch it to Big Brown?
I'm going to talk to Bruce about that. Brendan Big Brown Schaub.
At _Ellenbrook, at Brian Callen, at Brendan Schaub. How legitimate of a purple belt is Brian? Is he for real?
I'm not a purple belt, first of all.
What would you say you are?
I'm a blue belt from Henso Gracie. So I'm not a legitimate purple belt.
How many years ago was that?
A long time ago. How about this? Not even a good blue belt. All right.
No, you are. I've rolled with you. You got some tricks, my man. You're tricky on the ground.
I don't know. Only time will tell. I'm going to go back to rolling a little bit. And by the way, I'm 47, so it just doesn't matter.
Well, I don't know about that. At Colorado MMA fan says, Brendan, if you both could pick any 3 foods to live off the rest of your life, what is it?
Avocados, deer meat, sweet potatoes.
Dang, wow.
I think these things are.
Hey, you're ready to go.
I think these things.
Wow. Have you ever had this question before?
Just think them through all the time.
Man, I haven't. I would go with
avocados.
Avocados,
deer meat,
flaming young.
Deer meat. Just go.
No, I don't want
deer
meat.
It's better.
No, I hate deer meat.
It's better.
No, I don't want deer meat. I've never had it. I'm not going to live off it for the rest of my life.
You never had venison? Come over to my house, bro. It's the best meat that you'll ever have in your life. What are you talking about? Best meat you'll ever have in your life.
Well, I've never had it. I'm not picking it in my top 3 to eat for the rest of my life.
Bro, it's way better than filet mignon.
I'm going to throw my last one there, pizza. Okay? I want pizza for the rest of my life.
Really?
Yes.
That's not a bad call.
That's what I want.
Pizza, because you can put a lot on pizza. It's true. All right.
Dang, this is an intense one. We'll end on this one. We will end on this one. At Death Squad Grand Rapid, #firing the kid. Would you willingly die at 50 if you could be UFC champion? At Brian, at Brendan.
No. That just made me yawn.
You're not feeling that question?
I mean, no, it's a legit question. Like, what would you give up for great glory and fame? The problem is
50? Damn, I feel like 50 is young. Brian's almost 50 by the way.
Right. I mean, it's never what you think. It's never like Forrest was saying, the extraordinary becomes ordinary. You still got to live your life. Being a UFC champion is a great accomplishment. It doesn't solve the problems you have in your life.
No. We have friends who are rich and famous, and
they still have the same issues,
if not more.
Right.
If not more. I remember Rashad Evans told me after he won the belt, he goes, I gotta be honest, man, I thought I'd feel different.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be something
and
more
you don't.
once I got this.
What matters is the connection with people and the bonds you build and who you're influencing and the problems you're solving, and that never ends.
I don't think I would. I don't think I would. At 50, no. 70, yeah. Because after that, after 70, it's kind of, you don't remember things anyway and you're shitting your pants. So after 70, yeah. You give me 20 years, my man, I'll do it, Death Squad. I will do it.
We've been doing this for a long time. We got to run.
We do have to
We're
run.
over our time. Ladies
This is the Fighter and the Kid. Hopefully you guys learned something.
Or everything.
Or everything.
Peace.